Factoring of power is another subtopic that you see on your Qudraat exams. The question looks something like this. Factorize and simplify the following, and then you will be given an expression in which you will have to factorize that expression. Now, the key wording over here is this idea of factorize. If you see that word or simplification, and then there is an expression like this written over there in the question, then this is how you would solve such question. The first thing you need to look out for is the smallest power of that number. The expression that we have is 2 raised to the power 10 minus 2 raised to the power 9. The smaller power over here is 2 raised to the power 9. So we will write that down and then make brackets. So this is the first step. Every single time, look at the smallest power and then write that down outside and then make brackets. Now, remember that the first power over here was 2 raised to the power 10. Now, because we have already written 2 raised to the power 9 outside, the power remaining then is going to be 2 raised to the power 1. Then we will write down minus as it is written over here, like just like this. We will copy it. The second term we have is 2 raised to the power 9. Well, we have already taken out 2 raised to the power 9 outside. So how much power is left? Nothing. So we will write down 0. Now, the next step is going to be just simple plain simplification. Remember that any number raised to the power of 1 is just the number itself. So just like that, if you have 2 raised to the power 1 over here, that will simplify to just 2. Minus, second, again, remember that any number raised to the power of 0 is just going to be equal to 1. So again, because we have 2 raised to the power 0 over here, that is going to be equal to 1. As you can see, then it's going to be 2 minus 1, which is just 1. Anything multiplied by 1 is just the number itself. So that just goes away. So this is our final answer. You don't have to exactly figure out the value of this. You will have 4 options with different powers of 2, and you have to select the correct one. The answer in this case should be 2 raised to the power 9. Let's try out a slightly more difficult question of this type. Here we have, instead of a simple expression, we have an entire fraction in terms of power of 3. It is solved exactly the same way. Now let's say that we have 3 raised to the power 7 minus 3 raised to the power 5. The smaller power of 3 over here is going to be 5, right? So I will write down brackets just like in the last question. And again, remember, the first term we had was 3 raised to the power 7. So I will write down the remaining power with 3, which is going to be 3 raised to the power 2. Then we will copy the sign negative, and then instead of 3 raised to the power 5, we will just write down 3 raised to the power 0 because nope, we have already written down 3 raised to the power 5 outside. Okay, so that is something that you have to keep on repeating, which is write the remaining power inside the bracket after having taken out the smallest power of that number. In the denominator, the same thing happens. The smaller power over there is 3 raised to the power 4. And then we have 3 raised to the power 0 minus 3 raised to the power of 1. Now, from now onwards, it's again simple simplification. It's going to be 3 raised to the power 5 times 3 raised to the power 2 is just going to be 9 minus 3 raised to the power 0 is just 1 bracket divided by 3 raised to the power 4, which is going to be 3 raised to the power 4, and then 3 raised to the power 0 is just 1, and 3 raised to the power 1 is just 3. And we'll keep on simplifying it. As you can see, the rest of the question is just basic algebra that we already know about. Again, we will copy this down. 9 minus 1 is just 8. In the denominator, 3 raised to the power 4. 1 minus 3 is just going to be minus 2. We can simplify that. If you simplify that, you will get 1 over here and a negative 4 over here. Now in the next step, we will write this down. 3 raised to the power 5 over 3 raised to the power 4 times minus 4. And then finally, As we know, in the previous video, we have seen this law. If you have two numbers given as a fraction and the base number is the same, which is 3 over here, we can subtract the powers. So we'll get 5 minus 4. The minus 4, this one just gets replicated again. Finally, we will get 3 raised to the power 5 minus 4, which is going to be 3 raised to the power 1 minus 4. That at the end is going to be just minus 12. So that's the second example.